So yesterday I just posted this video where I thought that I was an ENFP, and someone responded, not someone. There's this person called Nonchalant. I don't know how to pronounce. That's an interesting name, but she basically responded saying that the issue with me is that I'm relying way too heavily on what others are saying rather than what. Uh, and she said that I'm relying way too heavily on what others are saying rather than myself. So I definitely have some doubts whether I am an INTP or an ENTP because those are actually quite close. And I was like, you know what? First, when I read that, I was kind of offended. I was like, well, that's rude. No. But then she was right. I was relying on what others were saying more than myself. So today I have these two, um, you know, printouts. One is an potential. One is that I'm either an INTP, and the other one's I'm either an ENTP. And I'm going to read through all of these, and while I'm reading, I'm going to mark them. I was actually recording on my other camera, but then I just realized that after 11 minutes it would stop, and I was already 8 minutes in. So I've almost read the entirety, almost read all the entire thing, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say what's right or what applies to me and what's not applicable. And at the end of this, whatever I resonate with more, my view is not my view, my view. My view is completely unbiased, and I don't care whether I'm an INTP or an ENTP. It doesn't make a lot of difference to me, but that's why I was so chill with the other video. But I think, like, at the end of the day, I need to, I guess, come to a conclusion. And the ENTP was like, well, I learned that about myself. So I was like, I can't keep doing an INTP channel with, being like, hey, I'm an ENTP. Because that would just be like fooling you. It would just, I don't want to do that. So basically, right now I'm going to start with this, the INTP. Again, very unbiased. Whatever is more prevalent? I don't know if that can be used. Whatever is more applicable to me in this case, I am going to go with that. Sorry. That's the type I am, right? Now I took out these printouts from this website called the Human Metrics website. It seemed old, and for some reason it kind of gave me the satisfaction that it would be right. But we're no more experimenting with the kind of type I am. This video is going to be the end of it. I'm either going to be an INTP or I'm either going to be an ENTP, and that's it. Okay. And this was going to be based all on what I know of myself. So let's start. Okay. INTP, introverted, intuitive thinking, perceiving. INTPs are pensive, analytical folks. They may venture so deeply into thought as to seem detached and are actually oblivious to the world around them. That's correct. I'm very oblivious to the world around me. Precise about their descriptions, INTPs will often correct others or sorely be tempted to if shade of the meaning is a bit off, while annoying to the less concise. The fine discrimination ability gives INTPs so inclined. I don't know what this means though. The fine discrimination ability gives INTPs so inclined a natural advantage. Okay, as for example, grammarians and linguists. INTPs are relatively easygoing and amenable to anything until their principles are violated. I completely agree. I don't give a shit about what you're into as long as you don't, in any way, I guess, attack me or do something which I'm not okay with. You get what this means, right? About which they become outspoken and inflexible. They prefer to return, however, to a reserved, albeit benignant ambience, not wishing to make spectacles of themselves. Yeah, I don't particularly love being the center of attention. So, A major concern for INTPs is their haunting sense of impending failure. They spend considerable time second guessing themselves. I do that, and I kind of have, well, it's not haunting, it's not that intense, but it's kind of, um, you know, um, what do you call it? It's there, like I am scared of failure, and I do second guess myself a lot. The open-endedness from perceiving conjoined with their competence in the NT is expressed in a sense that one's conclusion not have not have met by an equal what am I saying? May not have met by an equally plausible alternate solution, and that after all one may very have overlooked some critical bit of data. Okay, so I think what they're trying to say is, oh, it's recording. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I think what they're trying to say is that we're very precise, and even a little bit of impreciseness actually causes us to look at something differently, which kind of changes the meaning, and that's correct. I think I'm like that to a certain extent. Yeah. An INTP An INTP arguing a point may very well be trying to convince himself as much as the opposition. True. In this way, INTPs are marked different from INTJs, who are much more confident in their competence and willing to act on their convictions. Mathematics is a system. Mathematics is a system where many INTPs love to play. Similarly, languages, computer systems, potential and complex system. INTPs thrive on systems. Okay, agreed. Understanding, exploring, mastering, and manipulating systems can overtake the INTP's conscious thought. The fascination for logical wholes and the inner workings is forgotten. No, wait. Inner workings often expressed in detachment from the environment, a concentration where time is forgotten and extraneous stimuli are held at bay. Okay, I agree. I am like that. Accomplishing a task or a goal with this knowledge is secondary. INTPs and logic. One of the tip-offs that a person is an INTP is that his or her obsession with logical correctness. Errors are often due to poor logic. Apparently, faux pas. I don't know what that means. I know what faux means. I don't know what pas means. It's in italics, so I'm assuming it's like French or something. Apparently, faux pas in reasoning are usually a result of overlooking details or of incorrect context. Games NT seems to okay. Games NT seem to especially enjoy include Risk, Bridge, Strategio, Chess, Go, and word games of all sorts. The INTP mailing list has enjoyed a round of metaphor, virtual volleyball, and a few finished and serious paintings. INTPs in Maine are not clannish. What does clannish mean? Gotta look it up. Gotta look it up. Clannish. Tending to exclude others outside. Oh yeah, I'm not clannish. Clannish means tending to exclude people outside the group. Which I'm not like that. Yeah. So that is yeah. So that is basically the description of an INTP, and it seems quite accurate for the most part. Am I an INTP? Quite possibly. But there are things that I feel are very not that INTP. Anyway, let's read the ENTP part again. I'm not going to be biased. ENTP. Clever is one of the words that perhaps described ENTPs best. I've heard that a lot of times myself. People call me clever on multiple occasions. The professor who juggles half a dozen ideas for research papers and grants proposals in his mind while giving a highly entertaining lecture on an obtuse subject is a classic example of the type. Yes, I actually do that a lot. I am considered to be very highly entertaining, and I'm considered to be quite highly entertaining while I'm, say, saying stories. So yeah. So oh, so is the stand-up comedian when lampoons, whose lampoons are both funny and incisively accurate. See, that this is one of the reasons why I feel like I'm an ENTP, because I have been told to become a stand-up comedian so many times, and I don't know. It's and I'm accurate, but I'm not accurate to the smallest degree. I guess I'm moderately precise. I'm not the precisest of the precise. Okay, ENTPs tend to have a perverse sense of humor as well and enjoy playing devil's advocate all the time. I'm always playing the devil's advocate. I know I had to hit my knee for that, but this sometimes confuses, even angers those who don't understand or accept the concept of arguments as a sport. Again, think arguments are good. Love arguments. Debates are everything. ENTPs are as innovative and ingenuous at problem solving as they are verbal gymnastics. On occasion, however, they manage to outsmart themselves. ENTPs can be prone to sharp practice, especially cutting corners without regards to rules if it's expedient. I don't know what that means. You see, guys, I'm so smart. Expedient. Convention, convenient and practical, although possibly improper or immoral. Okay, okay, okay. Or juggling their acts may be simply be so over ambitious and they collapse. Both at work and home, ENTPs are very fond of toys, physical or intellectual. They are more sophisticated. The more sophisticated, the better. Once they have been solved or become too familiar, however, they're replaced by new ones. ENTPs are basically optimists, which I am. Very, very optimistic and idealistic and hopeful. But in spite of this, they can become petulant about small setbacks and inconvenience. Okay. Major setbacks they regard as challenges and tackle with determination. That is true. ENTPs have little patience and they consider ENTPs have little patience with those who consider wrong-headed or unintelligent, and show little restraint in demonstrating this. In general, however, they are genial, even charming, whether or not harassed by life. See, I don't mean to brag, but like I've been called charming way too many times in my life, and I'm only 18. In terms of their relationships with others, ENTPs are capable of bonding very closely and suddenly with their loved ones. Some appear deceptively offhand with their nearest and dearest. Others are also demonstrative that they succeed in shocking co-workers who've only seen their professional side. ENTPs are also quick to spot a kindred spirit and good at acquiring friends of similar temperaments and interests. ENTPs may sometimes give the impression of being largely oblivious to the rest of humanity except as an audience, good, bad, or potential. In general, this is unfair, but it can be difficult to get an ENTP's attention whether they're not immediately aware of who you are, especially for an introvert. The best approach in communicating with an ENTP is to be straightforward. No games, they'll win. No pulling rank, they'll just want to put you in your place. No apologies, you'll undermine yourself. Try, I need to talk with you. Okay. Both of them are just so close. Again, I already said this. I was not biased, but I think I am more of. Wait, you know what? No, wait, no. I was just gonna say, hey, why don't you try? Why don't you tell me which one I'm more like? Because you guys have been seeing my videos, but then it would be the same as I I'm asking other people. I think I'm more ENTP like, you know, because devil's advocate. See, here's the thing. ENTPs may sometimes give the impression of being largely oblivious to the rest of humanity, but the thing is, I am largely oblivious to the rest of humanity. I don't think it's it's this thing. It's not like I forcefully, I'm like, oh, I look at this kid, and I'm like, no, I don't look at it. It's quite likely that I won't notice, and it is difficult to get my attention for sure. Okay. In terms of their relationships with others, ENTPs are capable of bonding very closely and suddenly with their loved ones. No, I'm not. No, that's just how it is. Um, I think I am, I guess, more of an ENTP. You know, no, I am definitely the person who juggles half a dozen ideas for research papers and grant proposals, and I can't make up my mind. Like, you should. I have to do this thing, and it's called the physics IA in my curriculum, and I had like 4 billion ideas, and I have that for every single thing that I do, and it's so difficult to be decisive. I actually don't know if that's common for INTPs. I think INTPs are also quite indecisive, and so are ENTPs. I also love systems, so that's also there. Everything that I see, I'm always categorizing it. Again, the only like INTP guys, I think I'm an ENTP. Yeah, I think I'm an ENTP. ENTP with streaks of INTP. I'm just, you know what? Just I'm an ENTP. Let's move on. Okay, that is me, I guess. Apparently, and the thing is, I have INTP friends. I have very close INTP friends, and they like I have seen them, and I very largely from them. Um, and I know that for sure they're INTPs. So that is kind of what made me question whether I was an ENTP or an INTP. So yeah, that's that. Okay, I'm an ENTP. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for all the confusion. I'm I know I should have I don't know been I guess a little more precise with my personality type thing before I started talking about INTP shit. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I think ENTP is what it's. I connect more to an ENTP. I think I'm an ENTP. Okay, let's just. That's it, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but yeah. So I guess it's me, the edgy Reggie's and ENTP. Okay, that's it. Thanks for actually thank you for bothering just with my videos. I really appreciate it.